All right, Chuck's chat, week 5, college football. Before we get, oh my God! All right, before we get going here, I went 7-6-1, my first positive week. I'm 24-24-1, and 2-2 on locks. As perfectly average as it gets. Ferry, how was your week here?
Wasn't bad. 9-7. I believe you and I are pretty much on par with each other overall. So I mean, we're just, I guess we're just middle of the pack here.
And then Ben, still leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, still leading the clubhouse. I think last week I did not go above 500. I think I'm the only one here. I went 7-10-1. Right now I'm 41-32-3. Locks 2-1-1. A lot of pushes for some reason, I guess, this year. But feeling good. I didn't really like the slate last week, so I'm not really that concerned about 7-10-1.
And this slate is awesome.
I have a shit ton of games. I got to like the 8:00 games when I was making my list, and I thought I had to chill. I didn't even realize how many games I had on my list.
What was your best bet and bet regret last week, Ben?
Best bet. San Jose State kicked the shit out of Western Michigan.
Really? What was the final?
34-7 or something.
Oh, jeez.
I forget what it was something around there. Worst bet, Clemson Wake under, probably.
That'll do it.
That no shot at hitting. Also Minnesota, -2.5 at Michigan State. They killed them.
They did kill him. And Ferry, what about you? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Keep going.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I think San Jose State won 34-7 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, my lock of the week was pretty easy with Ohio State. That was just, good, all reliable. Love to see that.
Kicking.
Yeah. Just
they are whatever anyone thought after game 1 against Notre Dame. They're going to be a fucking wagon the rest of the season.
I had that under, and they almost hit it themselves. I think they had 52 points. The over-under was 57. So that was killed.
And then bet regret.
I had Iowa State -2. Not great, but hey, it is what it is. And I had Clemson -7 as well. That was a tough loss, but
yeah. My bet. So on the opposite side of that, my best bet was probably it was Oregon State was my best bet. And then bet regret was North Carolina. They were they were up 7-0, but then they just got fucking punked the rest of the game. I don't know what they did in their off week because Notre Dame's fairly easy to stop, and they just let them do whatever they wanted. But that's the gambling game right there. Yeah. So Ferry, because I just brought it up, congrats to you too. We finally beat USC. We took them down. We did it in honor of Ben, who lost Jordan Addison.
Yep.
So you're welcome, Ben.
Thanks.
They
won undefeated,
and somehow
he defeated them.
We
they don't have a loss in the
we almost it was on the Pac-12 network, so for some reason we have the Pac-12 network, so I saw the first half, and then I was like, this game's it was like 11:30. I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. I'll wake up tomorrow and see, because I was a little upset too, because I think Oregon State turned it over when they were driving, could have made it 14-3. They turned it over 4 times. USC right now, they have a +14 turnover margin, +3.5 a game. It is just an unsustainable pace. They rank 125th in the country in EPA for defending the rush. They are the 7th worst team in the country defending the rush. I'm very excited, and we'll stop talking about USC soon, but in 2 weeks they play Utah, and I am so excited to watch that game to finally see them just get their doors.
I don't know what you have. I don't like USC I got personal reasons. You just hate them. I don't know why. I thought you'd like them. You like Oklahoma, or you did like Oklahoma.
Their offense
They're the
fun.
Same team.
Their offense is fun, but and maybe it's because it's USC, they just have become very, very, very overvalued. For what? Their offense is good, but their offense just kind of
when they were good.
Yeah, but Oklahoma, their defenses were better.
No,
their defenses were far better.
Oh, at least the last few years.
No,
the last 2 or 3 years, they definitely were.
Yeah, and they even they had Stoops as guys in the early, like with Baker. So their defense was better. Like went in to beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Probably should have beat Georgia in the CFP semifinal.
Yeah, good.
This
defense
USC
good that
defense
game.
cannot play.
Yeah.
Defense good that game against Georgia.
I don't remember. They gave up a lot of points.
It's Georgia. It's
Georgia.
Georgia. It's Georgia. What do you want?
Okay. First game. I'm sorry, I'm putting it up, but it's Wake at Florida State. Last I checked, I should have been more prepared in pulling this up. Give me a second. Because these are all ranked matchups. All right, Wake at Florida State. Florida State is a 7-point favorite. Total is 64.5. Ben, if you want to lead us off.
I didn't really get to watch that much of the Clemson Wake game, but I think this is a letdown spot playing it close with Clemson. I know a lot of the defense was out supposedly that game. So I'm going to roll Seminoles here, -7 at home. Big game. Probably the biggest game Florida State has seen in a while, being that Wake Forest is an actual competent team. I think they're both ranked, correct?
Yeah.
Wake Forest still
Wake
ranked?
Forest, they're 22 and 23.
This could be like Florida State, like they're not a joke anymore. This is like the coming out play. Like they beat ranked Wake Forest. I think they get it done at home. I think the student section will be up. I don't know what time this game's at, but
3:30.
Yeah, Florida State -7.
What if I told you noon?
Florida State -7. It didn't really matter. Like a night game would have been cool.
You just wouldn't know like when the game was. Okay. When do we have to add it to the rotation on the clicker?
I guess we're having a fun night game.
ABC.
That's all I'm saying.
Ferry. What do you think?
I'm going to tail Ben as well. I like Florida State -7. I think it's a little fishy that it is that many, but that's why I like it. So I like Florida State -7 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm aligned with you guys. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, but I would not lean Wake Forest with this number here. I just thought they matched up better with Clemson last week. So we'll see. And now it's on the road, a little different environment going on. Next game, Bama at Arkansas. This should be a fun one, maybe. Bama is a 17.5-point road favorite. The total is 61. Ferry, what do you think?
And like you said, it should be a fun game. That's why I got to bet the over. Just it's part of the fun. Over 61.
I don't think we've had a Saban 3:30 CBS yet this year. So the juices kind of get flowing for me with that. I just like there's something different with Gary Danielson and Saban and Bama and all
CBS
that. CBS
camera crew with Saban on this. Yeah, I don't know what it is either, but it just seems like, all right, this is legit now.
Soon it's going to be Kirk Ferentz instead.
Well, hopefully that old fart retires.
Ben, what do you think?
I was originally going to lay the points with Arkansas +17 home, take the numbers at home, but now I think I'm going to switch to under 61.5. I don't know why, Ferry, you like this over. Doesn't really make sense to me.
No, I don't necessarily like it. I think
this is a low scoring game. Arkansas, if I know anything about football, which I might not, seems to be a run heavy team. And I think Alabama can stop that. I think this might look a lot similar to Alabama, Texas.
Interesting.
You know what? Arkansas +17. The both of them, the under and Arkansas.
I am gonna Ben, I felt the same way you did. This feels just like such a huge number. I'm gonna let everyone just keep betting Bama up, and wherever it peaks at by kickoff is what I will take. I think 17.5 is a good number. Bama hasn't been unbeatable on the road. If you look at recent road games, they went to Texas, obviously got outplayed and won barely. Auburn last year in the Iron Bowl, not a good Auburn team. They won by 2. Florida last year, who was so bad that their coach got fired at the end of the year, they barely squeaked by. And A&M, who was unranked with Zach Calzada, who can't even start at Auburn, who stinks, beat them as like 20-point underdogs. They are very beatable on the road for some reason. I don't trust their receivers, and their offensive line's a little shaky. I would be shocked if and this is Arkansas when they come out every year. This is the game they circle, obviously. And I think coming off of that loss too, the tough loss to A&M may be a rally the troops type of thing. Like, this is our last stand. Let's take it to Bama and give it our best shot. I think this can be competitive.
Woo pick Suey.
Woo pig suey. Staying in the SEC, Kentucky's going to Ole Miss. Ben, Ole Miss is a 7-point favorite. The total is 53.5.
I know Ole Miss hasn't played anyone this year. I really like Ole Miss in this game. I just don't think Kentucky's that great. I like
Troy's
Will
good.
Levis.
They beat Troy. Troy should be undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not in Kentucky. They should be 3-1.
I know Chuck doesn't like Will Levis. I do like Will Levis, but I'm gonna roll with Lane Kiffin. He gets the boys up for big games. I feel like unless it's like a complete mismatch. I think the Grove's gonna be rocking. I assume this game is at like noon, which is a good spot for the Grove.
You're right.
So I'll roll with Ole Miss.
Ferry, what do you think of this game?
Well, is noon not the best spot for the Grove?
I would agree. No, I agree with that.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I
just think it's funny that you guessed
not
that,
the
right?
night spot. Well, I have them. I have my
yeah.
games listed like in the row of when they happen.
Oh, okay.
So it's towards the top.
Oh, because I've started to do that more too, stagger when I bet these games. But yeah, that makes sense that you would have it that way. Ferry, what do you think?
I don't really like the game a lot. I probably won't take it, but my pick would be Kentucky +7. Mainly because I was heavily influenced by another college football show from today that seemed to indicate they like Kentucky. So I was like, all right, I'll ride with Kentucky if I had to.
Ben, I'm with you on this Ole Miss. It just seems like such a big number, and I think that Kentucky's missing a lot offensively, not having Wan'Dale Robinson, and a lot more responsibilities on Will Levis, and he hasn't really shown it yet. He's 60th in QBR nationally, which is definitely not what a projected possible first-round pick coming into the season should be at. And a thing that just happened yesterday, I don't even know if you guys saw it. Lane Kiffin at his press conference was like, yeah, the students haven't been good enough in the student section. Now they're gonna he's doing reverse psychology. Like, we know this is a big game. Let's piss off the students. Tell them that they haven't been good enough. They're gonna show up, be vocal. It's gonna be a very good home crowd, and I think Ole Miss might roll in this one. Next game. NC State at Clemson. The over under for this game. I just scroll down here. It's a late game. Clemson's 7-point favorite. Over under is 43.5. It was at like 46, then it went down to 40. Now it's back up at 43.5. Probably something to do with Hurricane. Keep calling it Ian. Ferry, what do you think about this game?
Yeah. It is not my messy game of the week, but NC State +7 is my pick. I think it's more of a spiteful pick because I Clemson -7 last week. I know you're not. I know spiteful betting is an awful idea, but here I am. Going to take NC State with the 7 points.
Okay, that's it. Good enough for me. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, my weather guy is telling me it is going to storm during this game. I don't know if it gets delayed or anything. I like Clemson -7. I think a lot of people want to take NC State, so they made this number big because Vegas is daring you to pick NC State. After watching Clemson go toe-to-toe with Wake last year, they lost to NC State last year. I think Clemson's on a revenge tour. I think they try to beat this team by a lot. And I think a lot of people on the defense are going to be back this game, I believe. So I think we'll see a different Clemson team.
Yeah, I would personally, because of the weather, I'd never bet this game in a million years. And I think I'm partly scarred from that Monday night Buffalo New England game last year. I'm just not going to fuck with
I'm
weather
also not
ever
betting
again.
this game because of the weather.
But I would lean Clemson too. As State does, like, the way to beat Clemson is Wake Forest kind of just put out the game plan. You got to throw against them because it's not exactly AJ Terrell and Andrew Booth in their secondary this year. And NC State doesn't like to throw the ball. Their coach is very conservative, defensive minded, so he likes to run. And with the weather added in, he won't be more inclined to throw now with the weather. So I would lean Clemson, but I would not. I'm staying away. This could be a fun one to watch, but I'm staying away. Fair, I'll start you with this one since you're the Big 12 guy. Oklahoma State going to Baylor this weekend. Baylor coming off a huge win at Iowa State. Oklahoma State kind of hasn't really had a tough schedule. Pine Bluff, Arizona State, Central Michigan has been there open. Baylor, 2.5-point favorites. Total is 56.5.
I like the under in this game. I think Oklahoma State's defense is legit again this year. Baylor, I don't think has, wow anyone on offense either. So I just like the under 56.5.
I'm also on the under. I'm also going to go Baylor. Home team. I'll take the 2. Why not? I think this is a pick'em game. Home crowd's going to add to it in Waco. This game's probably at
You
like
kind of
what?
just contradicted yourself. Baylor's
What?
2.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I'm taking the home team.
Okay.
2.5. They're at home, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, you said it's like a pick'em game. Oh, I see what you're saying. Keep going. Sorry, I thought of like
Waco
you're
crowd.
like, oh, it should be a pick'em, so I'll take 2.5.
3:30, similar to how noon's a good, like the perfect kickoff for the Grove. I feel like 3:30 is a good kickoff for Waco.
Mm-hmm.
By the lake, all the kids tailgating by it, get some sun for like a couple hours and go to the game, get it packed. I like the spot for Baylor.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to take this game, but I would lean Oklahoma State just because of the revenge factor. They were an inch away from winning the Big 12 last year, so I'll take 2.5. All right, Cards now. Ben, you're leading the clubhouse. Lead us off.
Not from last week.
Oh, I guess from last week. Farrah, what'd you go?
9-7.
Then you're up.
All right then. I like on Friday night. I love Washington -2.5. I think that UCLA is very fraudulent. They have an empty stadium. I think Washington is actually decent, despite what I might have said a few weeks ago, because I was riding with my guy Chuck. But nonetheless, Washington -2.5 because UCLA is overrated. I already said Kentucky. I also like Utah -10. I don't think Oregon State can get back up after last week's letdown game. I think Utah just steamrolls them. Like I said, I like the over in Bama, Arkansas, just because it's fun. I'm going to go back to reliable Ohio State records. So Ohio State first half.
I thought you were about to do 41. Are you taking 41?
I was I was too scared. I saw that. I was like, I'm too scared. I hope it's 20.5. That would be the perfect number for first half. Ohio State's, obviously Ohio State. I already said under OK State, Baylor, 56.5. Florida State -7. I know this is probably kind of, a weird take, but I like Kansas +3. I understand all the hype. They're probably, people might think, hey, they're, over, a little overhyped, but I like them. I like Jalen Daniels. He's awesome. So I'm going to take Kansas with the points. I also love Mississippi State -4. They're at home. It's kind of a system play, as we can recall. At A&M, I like betting against them. I feel like I just don't think they're good.
Did you watch A&M Arkansas by chance?
I saw the ending and I was watching the that was insane. I know
I'll kind of elaborate on that game more when I come around, but
I know
I wanted to see if you would agree with something that I was going to say later.
Fair.
Keep going.
Then I had NC State +7. Sorry, Ben, this is just the rule book, but interim coach Georgia Tech +22.
I'll explain later.
I don't make the rules, Ben. There's been one for the last 2 weeks, third week in a row that has yet to hit, but that's okay.
Third time's a charm. Georgia Tech outright.
I mean that maybe get a few drinks in me because they'll be later.
If they won outright, I would set myself on fire because I've hit over 7.5 wins.
Ben might not hear the end of that. At least when West Virginia lost to Kansas, they have turned out to be good, so it's no longer bad.
Kansas is good.
and especially if Virginia Tech beats Pitt in next week or 2 weeks from now, that would be even funnier. Nonetheless, not trying to get too far ahead. In my
Ferry's watched 0 pick game is all saying this. Well, one, so you watched one.
But he was hammered, so
yeah.
You watched
maybe
one
like half a game.
My bad.
You. I'd say about half.
Running around trying to find an open beer line the entire time.
Yeah,
the entire
that was
second
tough.
half.
Yeah, second half. A little hazy, but that's all right. But in my mess game of the week, this is very similar to my infamous Tulane call. I'm going to take SMU +3 against UCF. UCF should not be focused. UCF should not be focused on football right now. So I'm going to take SMU +3 in my mess game
That's
of the
your
week.
lock.
Some things.
No, just the mess. Yep, some things. Just the mess game of the week, not my lock.
Gotta
You're
take
betting
SMU.
against a team with a
Yeah.
hurricane.
Have
Yep.
to.
That's the logic I had last year, so I got to stick with it.
Did work. You're right. That was very disrespectful. It was way more disrespectful last year, though.
And it hit. So,
Yeah, winners are winners. I can't really argue.
oh,
with
for
that.
sure. Listen, I can't help what happens, outside the field. I just see the number. You gotta take it.
Mhm.
That's my messy game of the week. I mean, it's just funny to have a 1:00 kickoff during NFL. Then there's just that game on.
Yeah.
And then I just have my lock.
All right. I'll go next here. So Iowa State -3. Kansas hasn't played a good defense yet, and Iowa State coming off the loss now. They're definitely not going to overlook Kansas. 4-0 Kansas. They're probably hearing all week how Kansas is good. Jalen Daniels this, Jalen Daniels that. Think they come in and win that game. Ole Miss, I have -6. Ole Miss -7 versus Kentucky. Already talked about. Mississippi State -4 against Texas A&M. Texas A&M lost Aeneas Smith for the year, their top wide receiver, and they already don't throw the ball, so they're going to run it more, which is a little concerning just because Mississippi State's run defense isn't great. But Arkansas had a post-game win probability of 70% against Texas A&M. A&M should not have won that game. I think even as we were watching, Ben, I think you would agree to this, and Ferry, and since you watched the game, I think you would agree, they were pretty much outplayed the entire game, save for a KJ Jefferson Superman dive fumble that turned into a lateral scoop and score the other way. Outside of that, I thought Arkansas pretty much controlled the game. So I'll take it's really hard to back A&M's offense if Mississippi State can score it all.
And what time is that game at?
It's a night game.
Yeah.
Is it at
Close
night?
to the night. 6:30.
So Starkville night game.
Based
The
on the Ben
cowbells are
Payonk,
louder at night.
based on the Ben Payonk approximate time from this list. 6:30 maybe.
TCU +6.5. I think Oklahoma may have some issues, and TCU will be able to score with them. Arkansas +17.5. We talked about Charlotte +3 versus UTEP. I don't think UTEP's good, and I'm going to keep fading them.
But Charlotte's really bad. We know
Char-
this.
Yeah,
UTEP is
but-
not on my card this week. I'm done with them this year.
But I don't know. Charlotte.
I saw this game and
maybe-
thought you were going to take it.
maybe figuring it out here. Texas -9.5 versus West Virginia. I'm sorry, Ferry, to do this to you. But this is a good bounce back for the Longhorns.
It's not a great spot for us.
Now, Georgia State +7.5 against Army. I don't think any of the service academies are that good, especially be laying 7.5 at home. Georgia State's desperate. I mean, they're 0-4. They gotta
I'm
Yeah,
betting
get
on
it
Georgia
done.
State.
Eventually, they're
0-4. At
gonna
some point,
be
you
close
gotta
in one
just
of these
figure
games.
out.
Yeah, you'd think. San Jose State -2.5 at Wyoming. Wyoming, this is a letdown for Wyoming. They just beat Air Force. I don't have. Oh, and I have Navy +14 at Air Force too, just because the total's so low and Service Academy unders hit at such a high rate that I'll take 2 scores and hope that Navy can get me a touchdown or two. And then my lock I still have, but Ben.
Okay, so I did the math. I have a 30 play card,
Holy shit.
and I
okay.
will read through it now. Houston
All right.
-2.5 versus Tulane. I think that game is tonight, maybe. Today we're recording Thursday. It might already be happening. I don't know.
And they've kicked off and Houston might be up 10 right now.
UCLA +3 versus Washington. Biggest letdown spot ever for Washington. I don't think they're that good. I don't know what Perry's talking about. This was almost my lock, but for reasons you will find out, it's not my lock. It's somebody else's lock. Iowa
good
+11. Iowa +11 versus Michigan, also the under 42. I don't think Iowa can score enough for this under not to hit. I think they're going to contain Michigan enough that they maybe this game's 28 to I shouldn't have. I'm taking Iowa +11 to 29.
28-18.
There's no way Iowa scored 13. Ole
3
Miss
touchdowns, no extra
-7.
points.
Ole Miss -7 versus Kentucky. TCU +7 versus Oklahoma for the same reasoning as Chuck. I actually think they can win this game outright.
Agreed.
Army -7.5 versus Georgia State. Respect the troops.
Sure.
Wisconsin -7 versus Illinois. This is another bounce back spot. I think they're just better than Illinois. Boston College +14.5 at home against Louisville. I just don't think Louisville should be 14.5 points on the road against Boston College. Memphis -14 at home against Temple. Temple's not good. I think they've been playing games close recently, but Memphis has
They
owned
blew
them.
out UMass 19-0.
But Memphis owns them in conference play. I think this is a blowout. Oregon State +10 at Utah. If this is a night game, I'd be betting Utah, but I think Oregon State's actually good this year. I still have faith in them. I think they can cover. Arkansas +17 versus Bama, also the under 61.5. Baylor -2 versus Oklahoma State, under 56.5. Florida State -7 versus Wake Forest. Kansas +3 versus Iowa State. Kansas is being disrespected for far too long. They're not ranked. They're good. They're going to win this game outright. I'm not even going to bet the spread. I'm just going to take them outright. Michigan State +8.5. Oh, okay, good. So I thought I said my lock. I did not say my lock. Michigan State +8.5 at Maryland, bounce back spot. I think this is close. I don't know if they win, but
It's a
I
Mel
think,
Tucker rah spot for sure.
yeah. Toledo -7 versus Central Michigan. Mississippi State -4 versus Texas A&M for everything Chuck said. Unranked favorite at home against a ranked team. Have to take the unranked home favorite. Washington State -4 versus Cal. I think Washington State bounced back. They lost last week, I think.
Tough one, real tough one.
They lost.
They should have won that
last
game.
week. I actually do think they're good. So I think they can cover this number at home.
They're another tough one for USC coming up, by the way. Not to keep talking about USC.
The Apple Cup should be good.
Coastal
yes, Apple Cup
-9.
should be good. Apple Cup should be very good.
Coastal -9.5 versus Georgia Southern. Tulsa +9.5 at home against Cincy. I don't think Cincy's that good. I've been betting against Cincy a lot when I see spots I don't like, and the teams I've been betting on have been covering. I'll roll with Tulsa +9.5. Georgia -29 versus Mizzou. I think they're actually at Mizzou. I have this wrong. Georgia's going to kick the shit out of this team. This is the worst team in the SEC. I think this number is way too low. Even if they're on the road, this was almost my lock, but it didn't seem fun, so it's not my lock. Clemson -7 versus NC State. Texas -9.5 versus West Virginia. Sorry, Ferry, but hook 'em. Pitt -20.5 versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's Pitt's little brother. You guys don't watch a lot of Pitt games.
I watch every Pitt game. I watch the all 22 of every Pitt game.
I don't watch ACC football.
Pitt owns this team year after year. We blow them out every single year. I'm not worried about some interim head coach. Nebraska -5 at home against Indiana. How are you favorites? How is Nebraska 5-point?
I stayed away from
anyone?
I took the over. I took the over off my card. I considered the over, so I did. I didn't look at the game, but I.
Why not? Why not roll Nebraska? They can't get any lower than me. So if they're favorites at home against the conference team, why not?
True. That's a good point.
USC -25 versus Arizona State. That's a night game. I think Arizona State's is bad, and then
Very
my
bad.
lock.
All right. Ferry, what's your lock? Or did you already give it?
I did not.
Yeah,
Similarly, throughout the show, it looks like I have a lot of opposite picks. I'm on the opposite end here. So, like with my lock, I have Oklahoma -6.5 as my lock. You guys aren't. I know on the road, I think that they kind of come back. I think I do think that they can come on. I just like the football number. I like 6.5. And heading into the season, I did not like TCU. New era after Gary Patterson. I don't think Max Duggar, whatever the hell his name is, isn't that Duggan. So I was thinking of the Duggar family.
Duggan? I am.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. I mean, I think TCU fans will leave halfway through. Big Game Boomer will be calling them out. So I like Oklahoma -6.5.
No respect for a Texas school from you, Ferry.
Nope.
My lock. Late night snack in the pack, Friday night, UCLA +3.
Whoa!
I love this game as well. This was gonna be my lock.
This is
I'm opposite on all.
This is a
I'm opposite on all your. Chuck, I rode with you. Then I didn't ride with you. Now you're flipping back.
This might be a certified stick my nuts on the table and put a ton of money.
Exactly.
I think
there's gonna be 10 people at the game.
This is a rat.
I don't care.
This is a stinky, smelly rat.
This is a rout. I think this is the same feeling as Washington +3 last week.
It's this is super short spread.
Same exact feeling.
Everyone's super high on Washington.
All right. Well,
Washington beat a Michigan State team who's not very good, and the Stanford team who's not very
Washington
good.
might be
And
one
they
of the
have a lot of
squarest picks
hype.
of the weekend, Barry.
I
Yeah,
don't know what to
Being
do.
UCLA.
honest,
UCLA heavy.
UCLA is
heavy.
undefeated. People forget.
They struggle with mobile quarterbacks, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson is as dual threat as they come. Love UCLA in the spot with 3.
Love them too.
Ben,
My lock, it might seem pretty square, but I just think this team's better. I know they've been blowing teams out lately, but I'm going to do Minnesota minus 12.5 at home against Purdue. I don't think they have been at home in a while. I think they've been blowing teams out on the road. I think they're going to get a good crowd because they look really good. I think they're ranked 12 or something.
I don't know.
And I respect Minnesota.
21.
I respect.
Yeah.
Oh, then I don't know what I was looking at.
That's
But
high for them. That's high for
Tanner
them.
Morgan's still the quarterback somehow, I think.
He is.
I just like teams that have guys that the quarterbacks played a lot of games, they're experienced. I think they'll be ready for this. And I think this is a blowout. I think 12 is very low for Purdue.
Yeah, I get that because Purdue only wins on the road. They only win big games.
And I respect
at
Minnesota.
home,
I think
at home.
they're a quality team. I think they could win their side.
And I don't think at least Aiden O'Connell didn't start last week, so he might not start this week. So that's probably good for you too. If it works in your favor. All right. Anything else before we wrap up here? I guess the parlays: Oklahoma, UCLA.
I mean,
Minnesota.
for the parlay, I can adjust because I know you guys don't like it. I don't like picking the same.
No, it's fine.
That's fine.
I'll roll
All
with you. I won't
Yeah.
bet TCU. I'll just take the parlay.
He'll
You're right.
bet TCU.
All right.
All right. That's the show.
Sounds good.